David Knight Show. Infowars.com/show.
All right, in the next segment, we're going to be joined by a member of the Virginia Freeholders, and he's going to talk about a back to the future, I guess we could say. The ancient solution to our current problems and how we should start to make America America again. And then, of course, it will be free and great. That'll be a consequence of that. We'll talk about what we can do at a local level. Let's talk about what people are doing at a local level to protect their cities from the violence, the arson, the looting that is happening there. We have a story at Infowars.com by Kellen McBreen. This town is a Second Amendment haven. No looters are coming here. And that was said in Coeur d'Alene. And what had happened the day before in nearby Spokane, Washington, they had the police department try to respond. The government corporate response to this, always a day late, a dollar short, and ineffective. And at one point, as Kellen writes, the Spokane Police Department actually sent out a cell phone alert warning everyone in the region to, quote, avoid the downtown core area. A local newspaper source described what happened Sunday night in Spokane, Washington, as a frenzied night of tear gas, rubber bullets, and flashbangs while police worked tirelessly to end the vandalism and the looting. Spokane police were forced to issue an alert that was sent to cell phones. They said a civil disturbance is occurring in the downtown Spokane area. Please avoid the downtown core area. They gave the street address. The mayor issued an immediate curfew just before 9 p.m. The police used tear gas, rubber bullets to try to get control of the downtown area, but nevertheless, rioters sprayed graffiti, broke windows, looted selected businesses. Now, that was Sunday night. And the people in nearby town, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, saw what was happening. So they said, all right, we're going to take care of this ourselves. And they said, if you guys are thinking about coming to Coeur d'Alene to riot, to loot, you better think again because we ain't having it, as they put out on social media. And guess what? Nobody showed up. In fact, the gun-toting locals embraced the protesters, and despite of all the weaponry, the police noted, we had no incidents. And as Kellen writes, could it be possible that just the presence of firearms could be enough to prevent looting? Yes. That was something that everybody has understood, and quite frankly, we all understand that. Founders explicitly said that. Said the mere presence of firearms discourages evil. Evil on the part of the government or their surrogates of Antifa. Always has. It's always a deterrent. I had one reporter, at least, I think I had more than one, but one in particular really wanted to debate me on why we would support the Second Amendment. You know, that's not going to be effective against the government. You keep saying that, you know, it's just for hunting and we can restrict that as we wish. I said, no. It was to keep the government in check. You can't keep the government in check, making all the same statements that you've heard from Eric Swalwell and Beto O'Rourke and Joe Biden. Oh, yeah, we got big planes and nuclear weapons and tanks and all. You can't handle that. And I said, well, you know, tell that to the Panzer divisions that were surrounding and pinned down for a very long time in the Warsaw Uprising. But I said, look, it is mutually assured destruction. It is there as a deterrent. It is there to say that to the government that if you want to commit suicide, come and take it. Because we have seen over and over again, not just in the Warsaw Uprising, but we have seen the U.S. military defeated in every one of these asymmetric warfare scenarios. Every country, they go in and with conventional warfare, they can bomb the infrastructure out, and it looks like they've won the battle. Mission accomplished, we were told, in Iraq. And then they want to occupy it to rebuild that country. Now, so that isn't really something that should be a part of the mission of the military in a legitimate war, assuming that the Iraq War was legitimate, which it was not. It was based on lies about weapons of mass destruction that were obtained by the CIA, by Gina Haspel, our current director, based on torture. And when the people in government realized it was based on torture, they knew they'd been had because you can get people to confess to anything, right? And so that's where the lies of weapons of mass destruction came from. But after they decided that they would occupy the area, there, as in Afghanistan and every other place that we have done this, we have lost every one of these wars of occupation, every one of these asymmetric wars, where the people just, they don't really have any infrastructure. They got a few small arms. We've got all the big equipment. You would think we would win, right? And yet we haven't. And that really does worry the military. And it should. And it should concern them about getting aggressive and starting something here in America. So when we look at this, it's there as a deterrent for the same reason that we had the Cold War. You had the mutually assured destruction, both sides having nuclear weapons. It kept a nuclear war from happening. And let's hope that the Second Amendment can stop this type of thing from happening here in America, just as we saw it happen being used in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and also in California. Antifa invaded the suburbs. It did not end well for them. I don't know that it was necessarily firearms. Maybe it was fisticuffs that did that. We've got some B-roll of that. That story also up at Infowars.com. It ain't going good at all, said some of the people showing video of it. They just beat the ever-loving out of these 3 or 4 guys, and they're going at it again. These Antifa guys are not doing too well here. They're getting the excrement kicked out of them. So I think that was, see, that's what happens. You actually get into a fight if you don't have the ability to show that you've got a firearm to protect yourself. You know, we've seen people using fisticuffs. Sometimes that goes one way, sometimes it goes the other way. We saw the guy getting beaten by the mob severely because he was trying to defend his store with a sword. Last hour, I showed you the lady in Chicago who was really upset because there were 5 or 6 guys guarding a store, standing there peacefully holding guns, and nobody was messing with them. See, it was a deterrent. It was a deterrent. You don't have to get into a fight. You don't have to hurt. You just say, well, you know, don't try that. That's what the Second Amendment is really about. And as we see this, we've got across the country concern that Antifa is moving into the suburbs. We have, as a matter of fact, here in Texas, we have Governor Abbott saying that any non-Texans who are caught looting will be federally prosecuted. Federally prosecuted. They're going across the state lines. It's very organized. It's very sophisticated. And yet, the thing that's going to stop it, more than the police, more than putting the military out on the streets, is really when we take responsibility for our own lives. One of the things that I put up today was Dwayne The Rock, the actor. He's beefed up, and he was saying, where is our leadership? We need the president and the government to control this, and so forth. And it's that kind of mindset that is why we have this kind of problem right now. Ultimately, the idea that government has to solve all of our problems is the fundamental problem. Because whether we're conservatives or liberals or Christians or what, we always look like the conservatives, and many Christians say, well, we got to have the war on drugs, because if we don't, these people are going to use drugs. So let's kick the drugs out of their hands with the beefed up militarized police force, and let's suspend the rule of law and the Constitution and due process to save them from themselves. When in reality, they're the very people who have the power to save them from the drugs. They, and they alone, through the power of Jesus Christ, have the power to change these people so they're not dependent on these things. And yet it's always been the church groups that have supported the war on drugs and supported alcohol prohibition. On the other side, you've got the liberals, because what's important to them is money. And so they want the government to provide money. And now you got both of these groups, both of them scared to death. One group scared to death of the coronavirus, the other group scared to death of the riots on the streets, but nobody's talking about doing something themselves, taking responsibility so that they don't become slaves, taking responsibility so that they have freedom. See, responsibility is the flip side of freedom. People don't want that. Americans have taken the mindset of slaves. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Rob Dew here with InfoWarsStore.com, and I want to tell you about something that I think has really helped me out and I think can help you out too, especially if you have any problems sleeping, and that's Knockout. Let's face it, our life patterns have been disrupted by this lockdown, this government-imposed imprisonment, and it has definitely affected my sleep schedule. But one thing that has helped is Knockout. I take one pill about an hour before I want to go to bed, and boom, I get a great night's sleep. And just this past Memorial Day, I took 2 of them, fell asleep about 1 a.m., woke up at 8 a.m., ready to go. It really has made a difference in my life, and it can make a difference in your life too. If you don't get any sleep, you're going to be a grouch. If you get great sleep, you're going to be on point. You're going to be mentally focused. You're going to be ready to take on the day. And right now, Knockout is 50% off. It's less than $15 a bottle. You get 30 capsules. Give it a try today. It's at a great price right now, and it can really help you get the sleep you need, especially in these tough times. It's Knockout, and it's available at InfoWarsStore.com.